Hello, 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 everybody. It is Matt, and it is Bloodthirsty Thursday, and I am back at you with yet another review. Before I roll on to any of that, I want to wish each and every one of you a great morning, evening, dawn, day, or dusk. All that lovely stuff, because life really is too short as is. Do me a really huge favor and like, share, and subscribe. I love seeing your beautiful faces when you are here. I know I'm here an awful lot, but I have an awful lot on my plate to review. And one last final thing, check out the description box. I give you a bigger bite of every single movie of every single day, such as your brief synopsis, your starring cast, director, runtime of the cut I am watching, along with a link for a trailer. And then if you decide, there's also a link there for where you can watch it for free. It is located on YouTube for free to watch, which is really nice. To watch something that you don't have to pay for, which is always great. But anyways, what is today's movie? Today's movie is the 2016 film, written and directed by Zachary Keane. It is known as Flea Bitten. What a fun movie! It is not rated like most of the stuff I cover. Runs at an hour and 5 minutes. That's with credits included. It stars Zachary Keane as well, Matthew Pederson, Christina Soriano, Ian Torres, and Bryan Wagner are the rest of the cast to round that up. What a fun little movie. What exactly is this about? Well, it's about a guy who is a plumber. His name is Rick. Rick is like not the world's worst plumber, but he gets stuck doing the world's worst jobs. We'll say that. It starts out with him getting a job to where he goes to the house where it's at, and the person tried to flush a piranha down their toilet, and so he had to finish the job for him. Comes out with a broken plunger. Hey, you owe me a new plunger. One of those ordeals. It's actually quite hilarious. And then he gets called on a dripping sink, and then that's where he ends up getting bitten. And our friend Rick, he becomes a werewolf. He is very good at the role. In this one, he is not the werewolf. His dialogue delivery is absolutely spot on. He has definitely got the comedic thing down very, very well. But more about Rick. He basically is a wannabe comic book artist. And he just kind of fell into the whole plumbing gig along the way. Now, there's lots of things going on in this hour and 5 minute film. I don't want to give away too much, but I will tell you that there are some fun gags going on throughout this entire film. It is full of one-liners that will make you laugh. It just is very well and cleverly written, in my opinion. This is one of the funnest movies I watched in a while as far as horror comedy goes. I think the last great werewolf horror comedy I saw was Werewolf Cop. This isn't quite that level, but it's well on its way. I really enjoy it. But he's basically going on this journey to where he's trying to find the werewolf that bit him, because that will be the one thing that will help curb the werewolf in him, and it'll make it stop so he can move on with his life in a regular form or fashion. And of course, the only way to really get rid of a werewolf is a silver bullet. So they find out who the werewolf, the main werewolf is that bit him, and how to stop the werewolf is the next thing. The way the werewolf is stopped is absolutely hilarious. I'll just say that the mailman comes in for the score. That's all I'm going to give for that. But it is quite a fun little ride from beginning to end. I highly recommend it. Zach did a really good job making a great little film. I mean, it's not going to be any jaw dropping like Oscar worthy material by any means, but it is entertaining as hell, and that's what matters most in a lot of movies, in my opinion. If you're not entertained, then what's the point of watching it? All right, guys. Now that I've talked a little bit about the movie, let's talk about the three things that I love my movies to me. First and foremost is the audio. The audio it works for what it is. There is outside static and interference, both audio and visually. My guess it's put there purposefully. Otherwise, it would not make sense. I think it was done purposely, and they did it in the right places. I thought it worked for it a lot more than it would for other films of this nature. But they got a cast and crew of people that knew and loved and cared about this project. So you can really tell that there's a lot of charm put into this one. I'm not gonna lie, it's got a lot going. So on the audio, it's only going to get a B because it's not meant to be, like I said, Oscar worthy material. Second thing is dialogue. The dialogue is very funny. There's just so many great one-liners, like I said earlier, that each character seems to have. Nothing as much as Rick. Rick is got the best lines throughout the entire film, which he should since he's the star of the movie, and it's kind of the baby and the brainchild of Zach. So why not let him take full reins of it and deliver some amazing stuff. So on the dialogue, it's going to get a better score. It's going to get an A on that end. And now on to the third and final thing, which is editing. Editing is a tricky thing. You're either really good at it or you're not. I think Zach is good. He ran this thing at a right amount of time. I feel like. That short feature of an hour and 5 minutes, I think that ran for a perfect time, because otherwise I think it would have lingered too long and maybe not as been as funny. So there's that. Now there's no issues with pacing in here or momentum of the building up of the character and plot development. It stays on a nice steady path. It doesn't jump up and do anything crazy, wild, or different that we haven't seen in a werewolf movie. But I mean, other than the disposing of how they got rid of the main vampire or werewolf, that was funny as hell. I'm not gonna lie, that postman, once again, he came through. Oh shit. But anyways, the editing is very good in this. It's probably the best part about this movie is that it's edited together so well. And that's only on a technical aspect. I'm not talking about an overall entertainment aspect. But I'm going to give it another A there on the editing. And my final score, which is where the entertainment value comes into it, is going to be a 3.5 out of 5. It is an above average movie. I feel like it could have been better, but it could also be worse. I think that Zach did a great job with this one, and I hope that he still makes films, and I hope someday that he'll let me review it, some more of his work, because I am definitely a fan and would like to see him get more stuff out there. All right, guys, love your faces, and as always,